we're going to kind of go through some general things you want to look for when we're talking about fishing wood, some different tactics and different ways to attack the wood, and hopefully you'll pick up 2 or 3 things or more that you can use to catch more fish during the year. Go ahead. So when we're talking about fishing wood, usually it's lakes that don't have a lot of grass or have no grass. So your main bait options, these are kind of just like my top few that I'm going to be using to fish wood. I want a Texas rigged bait, and the D-bomb, missile crawl, destroyer, those are usually more of the shallow wood baits that I'm going to be fishing. When we're talking about wood cover, I don't care what, every wood I know of, there is definitely a shade factor. And the shade factor is that I feel like the fish use that shade as camouflage. That's what they use to hide. That's what they use when they're trying to ambush. And I don't care if it's a single stump or a single tree or a brush pile or a dock or whatever it is. That shade is their security. And the darker the shade, the better. They like it to where they can, the darker it is, the more they feel like they're hidden, and that they can come out and just grab whatever they want to. I'll tell you one quick funny story. I was down on Toledo Bend a number of years ago, and Toledo Bend is nothing but standing timber. This lake is just full of standing timber, and the lake was down, so there's trees everywhere. And I'm fishing out here in this forest, and I'd kind of found a few areas that were productive, and I'm pitching a Texas rig bait to these trees. And so we're probably 3 or 4 hours into the day, and my marshal is watching me do all this. I'm pitching. And about halfway through the day, he goes, "But you're just fishing the shady sides of them trees, aren't you?" I said, "Well, yeah, I want to get bit, so that's pretty much where I'm throwing." Some of those fish were down around the roots at the bottom of them, but I mean, in practice, I would try the sunny sides, but I mean, it was 10 out of 10 they were going to be on the shady side, because there's only a really small window where there's no shade or very little shade. Most of the time, there's some kind of shade, as the sun's going up or going down. So just keep that in mind. Even if you're fishing something that doesn't make a lot of shade, it still can play a factor into when you get bit. I'll give you another example about banging that wood. When we were at Pickwick Lake a few years back for the Elite Series, the lake was up a little bit. I'd say it was maybe 3 or 4 feet flooded. That lake has got a bunch of trees and bushes around it. So me and Ish and Ike, we're foaming at the mouth. This is going to be a flippers deal. It's going to be so much fun. And we get out there, and I'm fishing. I'd only caught like 2 or 3 all morning. About 12:30 rolls around, my phone rings, and it's Ike and Ellie. And Ike and Ellie calls for 2 reasons: either his boat broke down again, or he ain't got any fish. There's only 2 reasons, and he rarely calls. And I said, "Man, what's going on?" He said, "Are you getting bit?" I said, "Well, not really." I said, I don't know if I'm in the wrong part of the lake or what's going on." He said, I said, "How about you?" He said, "Yes, same thing." He said, "I've only got a couple. Doesn't make any sense." And so we talked about what baits we were using. Like, yeah, we're basically kind of using the same thing. He said, he's like, "Let me call Ish." So he calls Ish, and about 5 minutes later, he calls me back. He said, "Man, Ish has had like 25 bites." I said, "Is he fishing on the same lake we're fishing on?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I know he's not fishing off the bank." He said, "No." He said, "He's flipping like we are." I said, What the hell's the difference?" And he said, "Man, he's using a 1/2 ounce weight." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." So we're all fishing generally the same type of bait. And me and Mike were throwing a 5/16 ounce weight, and he was throwing a 1/2 ounce weight. I said, "Man, I can't believe it'd make that much of a difference, but I'm gonna try it anyway." He said, "Yeah, me too." So I dug down in the boat, tied me on a 1/2 ounce weight, pitched it up next to these bushes and these trees, and then as soon as the first time I pitched it in there, I noticed what was going on. And I pitched it in there, and I picked it up, and when I picked up that 1/2 ounce weight, I could feel that. It was just like bouncing across those roots, because all the flooded trees had all these roots, and I turned around and went right back through the pocket that I had just fished and not got a bite. And I had like 5 or 6 bites in that one pocket. Then it didn't take 15 minutes. So sure enough, my phone rang again. I said, it was Mike. I said, did you just do what I just did? And he's like,
I hope you enjoyed the preview clip. And for more like that and the entire collection, subscribe to the Bass University TV. And if you want the tackle that you see on there, I want you to go to the Bass University Tackle Shop, powered by Tackle Warehouse, and click right here, and it's all at your fingertips.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Glusek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.